Liesmann, USA wakeboarder.
Yes, sir.
Kind of an honor to be here. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. This is such an incredible venue. I mean, what better condition? Well, I mean, a little bit of wind, but it's not what it could be. And so many different countries represented here. Like,
Yeah,
this gets me
awesome,
pumped.
isn't it?
It's
and many
incredible.
more to come, we're hoping.
Yeah. Love the
I'm passing
the
them the
potential.
mic because it's a habit, everybody, but it's just the way it is. So we've got a few more divisions coming up. Men's over 50, over 30. The open men was cool. I mean, for me, I'm sitting here watching this stuff, and I just can't believe, you're a young guy, but to watch all the way back 39 years ago when Tony Finn, kicked things off, it has changed a lot, even in your lifetime.
Yeah, it's neat seeing the evolution of the tricks and what's popular and what looks good behind the boat. And there's so many unique variations of tricks that have been done for a long time, but they're starting to be done in really cool, like, stylish ways that it's just making the sport look really, really fun.
Yeah, well, and Kevin was talking about that earlier. It's like each guy, each girl is putting their own little spin on things, and that's those style points. I mean, there's only so many turns, so many flips you can do. But adding that style component, artistic impression, and, that adds to the score.
It really does. Yeah, that kind of plays into the overall impression. So as the judges are in the boat, they don't want to see the same trick done all day long. They want to see something that's going to separate the rider from the rest of the pack. And that's what I've really enjoyed watching throughout this contest, is just throughout every division, you're seeing all these riders, no matter what their age, they're doing stuff a little bit different to try to stand out.
Right. So as you skiing out here, and we have 15-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 24. That's pretty substantial. But when you're out there going into a headwind, what are you thinking about, if anything, or do you just ski?
It definitely takes a rider with a high contest IQ to be able to make changes on the fly if they need to. And one thing I've had to kind of integrate into my own training is how to stack a pass. Like, if you get out there and the headwind's blowing so much you can't even do a trick, you got to kind of scale it back. When that boat turns around, it feels like a whole new day, and you can just cut loose. So when we're at home practicing, we're like, hey, let's do the stacked pass and put every one of your hard tricks back to back to back, which is hard to get yourself to do. But if you do it, you can honestly win a contest in one pass if you play it right.
Well, a term that is pretty interesting, and we have our first rider here. So we're going to give Kevin a little bit of a break because the poor guy's been announcing since 7:30 this morning, 8 o'clock this morning. But all right, so you got a youngster out here.
Under 14.
So we got a U14.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What do you think he's thinking? What's going through his head?
I think he's just trying to get to the end of this first pass, kind of like we were talking about, maybe scaling it back a little bit on the way down, and then he's hopefully cut loose on the way back. But he's riding great. He's got a nice kit. His board shorts are matching his rope, which I really like. Small detail, but the kid's doing well. Just ended up taking him down on that last trick on the first pass.
Yeah, going down on the back roll, that's Diego Garcia from Brazil. But yeah, it's great to be joined up here by Kirby Liesmann. Kirby, I was interested in that, your take on the headwind versus tailwind. I hate headwinds personally, but some tricks, are nicer in the headwind. But I saw a lot of guys getting hung up in open men. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was actually talking to some of the riders just about this earlier, that they feel like certain tricks, like Max was saying he can do a double half cab roll better into the wind. And I turned my head and I said, well, I'm glad you figured that out. Teach me how. The teacher can become the student real quick. But yeah, there is a certain feeling when you get the wind behind you, the line tension is a little bit less, which for most riders gives them a little more element of comfort.
Sure. And what's happening back home? I know you got Kirby's School of Wake.
Yes, sir.
How was your summer up there?
Summer was action-packed, running private lessons, camps for kids. We do all-girls sessions. Absolutely loving just being out on the water and just seeing the sport grow in the Midwest. And then, my wife and daughter, we all moved down here to Fort Myers, Florida, and we spend winter trying to chase the endless summer. So we're trying to keep it going.
But if someone watching on the webcast wants to get a ride with you, how do they go about that? How can they find you?
Yeah, thank you. It's kirbyschoolofwake.com, and we've got a booking software on there where you can see all of our availability. You can book a session throughout this fall, winter, spring in Fort Myers, Florida, or look into a trip to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri for the summer months.
Well, now, there was a ski show up there. I think Kevin remembers this years ago.
Okay.
Lake of the Ozarks ski show. And a guy by the Shank family and Morris Shank, I skied with him at Cypress Gardens. His brother Mark Shank is a world-class senior barefooter. But there are some hot skiers, including yourself, that have come out of that area. I mean, but it's a gorgeous tourism recreation area. That's beautiful up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unique in the way that like the Lake of the Ozarks has this draw for water sports recreation, because when people come to that area, that's what they're looking to do, is just be on the water with their families, having fun. And for us to kind of facilitate that in a way when people want to get started, we can help start them off right.
Well, you know, you're kind of in a unique situation. Okay, here we come.
Yeah, Diego Garcia started out with a toe side wake to wake 180. Ooh, wow, very difficult trick, the heel side backside 180. Diego is rocking and rolling. Green shorts matching the green handle. Beautiful shot there on the webcast for the toe side back roll from Diego. One more trick here. I think he got off the wake before the buoys for that heel side back roll. Put your hands together for Brazil's Diego Garcia.
Wow, that was impressive. What do you think, Kirby?
Yeah, I really liked his last two tricks there, where he did the toe side version of a back roll, followed by a heel side version of the back roll. So the toe side version of that trick is kind of like a gainer, like if you're going to run forward and do a straight backflip, as to where the heel side approach back roll looks more like kind of like an underflip. So kind of unique. They're named the same thing, but look completely different depending on what side of the wake you do it on.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's a great description of it. So let's jump back real quick while we've got a break in the action to your ski school down in Fort Myers. Where do you train down there? I know there's a lot of great places to ski, places to go. I love Fort Myers, Sanibel Island, Captiva. They had a lot of damage down there.
Yeah, the last few years have been tough with the hurricanes, especially in 2022 with Hurricane Ian.
Yep.
But the area is being built back up, which we're grateful to see people coming back to the beaches and the town and all the great things that Fort Myers has to offer. But as far as like the water sports scene, it's incredible. We've got this waterway that actually flows from the Atlantic all the way out to the Gulf. And it's been dredged out, and it's narrow. It's almost as narrow as this lake right here, but it runs for miles. And we just absolutely love it. And there's a cable park called Revolution Cable Park in the area too. So we kind of bounce back and forth between boat and cable. And yeah, like I said, we chase the endless summer.
So you guys are rocking it down there in the endless summer here. Now in the summertime, you go back up to Lake of the Ozarks, right?
Yes, sir. So summertime in the Lake of the Ozarks, that's where we run our camps and private lessons. But for us to be down here this time of year when it's still warm, it couldn't be any better.
Well, disciplines. You know, it's everything from traditional 3-event skiing to show skiing and so on, but with regular trick skiing, traditional trick skiing, you fall, that's the end of your pass. Pick you up, take you out, and then if you fall again, that's the end of the second pass. So just a little bit different for those of you that are 3-event skiers that are, you know, hey, I'm learning some stuff from these wakeboarders, and I know they all do. A lot of the tricks now in traditional 3-event skiing started with you guys. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. I'd take it as a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you got to look back at, you know, the lineage of trick skiing into wakeboarding. So we've drawn a lot of inspiration from trick skiing, you know, the higher, you know, degree of rotation spins. Obviously, there was a lot of that going on in trick skiing before wakeboarding. So it's neat how both sports kind of complement each other. And honestly, I wish there was more overlap because I've never ridden a trick ski.
But I was trying to explain to them that the traditional ski boat that, you know, the three of us probably grew up in, you know, the Mastercraft, Nautique, Centurions, and so on. When wakeboarding was first starting, they had what were called fat sacks, and they look at me and no, it isn't just a bunch of fat people sitting in the back. These are actual sacks of water that they put back there to make a bigger wake. Do you remember all that?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that was the name of the game. I believe we spent about 45 minutes to an hour just filling the bags in our boat to get a bigger wave. But it was all worth it. You know, I was just talking to someone about that last night, how that was the time where we built community when the bags were filling.
Now, Kirby, are you going to be going to China?
I was planning on it, and then life kind of happened with a hurricane coming in through the area this last week, so it kind of changed my plans a bit. But would love to do some world travel with this organization because this is my first IWWF tournament, and I'm really loving the experience so far.
What made you come down?
Well, it was just something that was presented to me, like, you get to be a part of a team. The team feel was something I never really experienced in wakeboarding because in my past experience, it would be just show up, ride as an individual, and go home. And I wanted to contribute to an overall team experience and opportunity. And I guess as I get older, my tricks are worth more, so I'm enjoying that.
So is your time. It's all about time, right,
we'll be
Kevin?
looking forward to catching up with you and getting some ideas for how to make it better.
No, I love that. It's been a passion of mine for a super long time, and to see all these fresh new faces out here has really got me excited as well.